here the general overview. The general overview basically consists of a general condition status of the truck. So the way I break this down is I start from top to bottom, right to left, no large holes, no missing pieces off the front of my truck. That will cover everything from my Aerodyne shell to the hood itself and also to the bumper, also the grill. Now whatever you learn with Kevin in the classroom, I'm not quite sure the material he might have, but the grill is not essential. It's not in chapter 11. Your fog lights are not essential. They are not in chapter 11. And believe it or not, even your bumper is not essential. It's not in chapter 11, okay? So there's some things I'm gonna see, you will see that I will weed out as I go along, okay? If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll stop and I'll address these. All right, then the next thing I'll move to is my clearance lights, and I'll also my turn signals, four-way flashers, and side reflectors. Since they're all amber in color, I group them together, okay? And the lenses are clean, not cracked, no loose wires, and working correctly on all of them, all right? Then I come down to my windshield. Windshield is properly mounted and secured to the front of my vehicle, no illegal stickers, no cracks to impede my vision. My windshield wiper arm is properly mounted and secured. I'll check the operation during my in-cab inspection. And I come over here and I check my spot mirror or fender mirror, whatever you want to say. Properly mounted, secured, bolts are intact. The glass is clean and clear, not cracked, no illegal stickers. Then I'll come down into my headlights, low beam, high beam. They are clear in color on both. The lenses are not broken or cracked, and they are clean and clear and working correctly. Lastly, I'll work into my license plate, and it is up to date and current, fully attached to the vehicle. I'll take a step back, look for leans and leaks underneath. No large puddles of oil or antifreeze to indicate a leak. No leans to the left or to the right to indicate an underinflated tire, a problem with my suspension system, or the cargo has shifted in my trailer. Questions? No? Now you might wonder, why did I not get my mirrors on the side? I'll tell you why, okay? Let's say you get card A. Card A is described as the front of the truck, and it begins with everything I just did. Card A does not include your mirrors here, guys. This is actually card B now, okay? Because it's attached to your door. Remember yesterday I talked about all card A is the firewall, up to the firewall, that's it. Your mirrors are attached to your door. That will be considered part B. But you can check the mirrors inside during your in-cab check on any test that you get, whether it's A, B, or C, or D, okay? Questions? No? And I start with all my rubber hoses from top to bottom, from the front to the rear. On this side of the engine compartment, no abrasion, bulges, and cuts, because what? They are rubber, right? Okay. All the clamps are in place, intact, and tight. No visible signs of leaks. If it has liquid going to it, no audible sounds of leak coming from my air line there to my brake chamber, okay? Then my electrical from top to bottom, from front to rear, no burns, cuts, frays, or loose connections. Then you work into your component check. Radiator, cap is on tight, no signs of leaks, filled to manufacturer's specifications, PMS, properly mounted and secured. All right, coming across, the next thing you'll see, these are your turbos. You got twin turbos on this truck. This is your exhaust, and it starts here and it goes back to the back where he's standing. And what you're gonna check for is all the clamps are in place, they're properly mounted and secured, no large holes, no signs of carbon soot to indicate an exhaust leak. Now if you videotape the back of that stack there, because your truck is identical, you will see electrical wires. That is part of the DEF system, and it's also part of the pyrometer. And what it does, it reads the temperature of the exhaust. If it's too hot, you might have blockage in here in the engine itself. And it will send out a code in the computer, and it will see it on your display as you're driving. And it will be like a little puff of smoke, and it'll say high temp. You need to stop the engine. Something's going on, okay? You'll check those wires back there for no burns, cuts, frays, or loose connections. You come back across here, not to be confused with, I've seen people touch this here. This is your AC compressor. Right below the AC compressor is your water pump, okay, which is right here in that area, right below the AC. Okay, the AC compressor is not critical to talk about on the pre-trip itself. Just know if you can find the AC compressor, right below it is your water pump. Right below it. Okay? Now, you might think that it's belt driven, but it is not. The belt only goes around the AC clutch right here. The water pump is actually gear driven on this. And it's important you identify if it's belt or gear driven to the examiner, because there's actually check boxes on the exam form that he will check if you are correct, or he will mark off a point if you are wrong.
On all of your trucks, the only thing that's belt driven is the alternator, right?
It depends on the year model. My truck, the air compressor, is belt driven.
The trucks that we're going to be testing.
You're correct, sir. You are correct on that. All our trucks here, the only thing that is belt driven is the alternator. That is correct. Okay? So the water pump, properly mounted, secured, all bolts intact, no visible signs of leaks, and it is gear driven, as I stated. That is it on this side.
The holding point.
Okay?
What is this reservoir right here?
This right here,
Yeah.
windshield fluid, washer fluid.
Do we need to mention that?
Yes, I did I? Thank you.
That's not the reservoir though, right?
Yes, it is. It leads to the reservoir, which is located underneath here. You would have to physically remove this panel to get to it, okay? You do have to mention this, cap on tight, no signs of leaks, filled to proper manufacturer specifications, okay? As long as you identify the location where you would add it, he does not necessarily need to see the reservoir itself. He's just going off the material you learned in chapter 11, okay? All right. From top to bottom, front to back, no brazen bulges or cuts, no visible signs of leaks, no audible sounds of leaks coming from my airline here, okay? It's my airline. On all my electrical, as you can see, close to the firewall, this is a lot of electrical going here to the front, from the top to the bottom. You have sensors up here too as well. Your computer actually sits right here. This is your computer. This is the brain and the heart of the truck, okay? You want to check for any burns, cuts, sprays, or loose connections on it. Now that you've done that, you'll work into your component check. I start here from left to right. You can start in any fashion you like. If you want to start from bottom to top, that's cool. Okay, I'm just giving you a guideline of what I would do. Power steering fluid reservoir tank, cap on tight, filled to manufacturer specifications, properly mounted, secure these two bolts here, no visible signs of leaks. Then I'll work into the oil fill tube, located here. Cap is on tight, no signs of leaks. This is where I would add oil if needed. This is my oil dipstick. At no time will you pull this out to check the contents, but you will describe how you would check it. You'll pull this out, wipe it off, re-stick it, pull it out for an accurate reading. Should be filled to the proper level. Located down here in this loop of wires and hoses, right here in this area, is the location of my power steering pump. Now notice my belt assembly is up there. It would be safe to say that this is gear driven, and I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. The power steering pump is gear driven. No signs of leaks, properly mounted and secured to the vehicle. Okay. And back here in the back, like I told you, underneath this firewall, you will not be able to see it. You just point in this direction for Courtney. This is the location of your air compressor. Your air compressor, since it pumps air, no audible sounds of leaks. Okay. All the bolts are intact, properly mounted and secured, and all the hoses running to it are secured to the air compressor itself. Okay. All right. So now that I'm back here and I'm done with this, I'm gonna come back to a piece that I missed, which is my alternator. I do it every time because it's right here in between these hoses. So if I do it, I know that, you guys might accidentally do it yourself. Right in between those hoses is your alternator. It is belt driven, and the belt can have no more than 3/4 inch of play when pushed in by hand, and it's not torn, frayed, or missing. The alternator itself, all bolts are present, no broken, crack, or damage, or missing any pieces. That is it on the inside, guys. That is it on the inside. Now you can move your way out if you like. All right, so now that we're done on the inside, I'm going to start grouping. So I hope you guys enjoy this and this is beneficial. If not, you can do it independently. And what I'm going to do first, the first thing I see is my frame. My frame is part of the suspension system. So I'm going to name all the components within the suspension system. Frame, leaf spring hanger, which is front and back. You have two. Think of it as a hanger is where you hang your shirt on. Okay? You have ends on both ends. Okay? The leaf springs themselves. See these U-bolts, front and back? Front and back. You got two. The axle from driver's side to passenger side in the shop. The wonderful thing about this, they're all metal. Not broken, cracked, or damaged. All bolts are intact. Not missing, not broken. Okay. Then you add additional information to my frame. All mounting bolts are present. No illegal drill holes, no illegal welds. My springs, no excessive shifting, no more than 25% of the spring broke. My U-bolts, all nuts are attached underneath my axle. Should have a total of 4 on this side, 4 on my passenger side. Total of 8. The axle, from driver's side to passenger side, not bent, broken, or damaged. The shock, mounting bolt up on top, mounting bolt on the bottom, present. No signs of visible leaks of hydraulic fluid. And that concludes my suspension system. Okay? Then I will talk now about my steering linkage. I will start with my steering column shaft. To include my U-joint here, and you got a U-joint here, hit it. You always have two. Always. Okay? Steering gearbox, pitman arm. Drag link, inside here, my steering knuckle. And lastly, behind my axle, you will see a rod that goes across. That is your tie rod. All these components are part of my steering linkage. They are all metal. No broken, cracked, or damaged, or missing any pieces. Now it's time to add a little bit more. My steering column shaft, no more than 10 degrees of play. Look at my wheel on a 20-inch wheel. Okay? My U-joints, properly lubricated with grease. My pitman arm, and my steering knuckle connected to my drag link are connected with castle nuts and cotter pins on both ends. They are not missing. Same thing goes with my tie rod. My tie rod from the driver's side to the passenger side also has these castle nut and cotter pins connected. Okay? Questions? No? Okay. Steering gearbox. I have liquid in here, so I got to talk a little bit about it. No visible signs of leaks on it as well. You will tell Courtney this completes my steering linkage because there is a box on the form that says so. You will get credit for it. Okay? So now that I checked all those off, I will work into my braking system now. My air brakes, I will identify everything that is metal first, which is the brake chamber, caliper. Inside here, so you can see that part of the caliper right here. This one. Down here below, if you duck down, you'll feel the rotor if you stick your hand in there. All those pieces are metal. Not broken, cracked, or damaged, or missing any pieces, right? On my brake chamber itself, no audible sounds of leaks. Why? Because I got air going to it. This is my ABS line, right here. See that single line? Okay. You have ABS system on this truck, including your drives. So you need to find that little wire. It is electrical, no burns, cuts, frays, or loose connections. Caliper, not broken, cracked, or damaged. And inside my caliper, I got brake pads. What do we know about brake pads? Shouldn't be too big.
More?
No.
At least a quarter-inch thick.
Say that again?
At least a quarter-inch of thick.
At least a quarter-inch thick at its thinnest point, or no less than a quarter-inch thick. Okay, at its thinnest point. And there should be no signs of oil or grease on my rotor or pads, right? Treat the rotor just like a drum. On the rotor, no illegal welds, not excessively worn thin, and like I said, no signs of oil or grease on those. Now, some people have asked me in the past, why would I see oil or grease on my brake pads or my rotor? Well, it's your hub seal. That's leaking. If you see that first indicator, you'll see a spider's web slinging out. As the wheel turns, it'll sling. Not only on the outside, you'll see it splashed on the inside as well. That is a good indicator this hub seal is leaking. Why is that important to catch quickly? You got bearings inside. If you don't lubricate those, this wheel seizes it up. Fails to turn. You have no more steering. Okay. All right.
You have to mention heat and discoloration.
No, take
Okay.
that bin equation out.
All right.
Yeah. He was actually knocking people point directions for that.
Really?
You know, I found that out a long time.
Oh,
I
wow.
apologize, but I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take that out.
Okay.
All right, so there's nothing else on the inside of this system that I need to talk about. I grouped everything else. Is everybody satisfied with the way I did that? Is there anything I might have missed?
So can we group? Can
Yes.
we group?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, as a matter of fact, it will save you a lot of time and effort if you do group.
Okay.
Okay?
What do you call the bolt and the nuts on the shocks again?
Do what, sir?
The name of the bolt and nuts on the shocks from the top and the bottom? What?
Mounting bolts.
Mounting bolts.
Mounting bolts. Just think of everything that you see attached to either the frame or to the assembly itself as mounting bolts, because that's what they are. They mount the assembly in place. Okay. Now we'll work on my tire. And I go inner, top, outer, no abrasion, bulges, and cuts. It is filled to the appropriate air pressure by the manufacturer's specification. Minimum tread depth 430 seconds on this tire, and these must be new when replaced, cannot be recapped or used. And the tread is evenly worn across. Okay? This is an outer bead. I have an inner bead. The bead is what seats itself to the rim. Properly mounted and secured, no audible sounds of leaks. Then I come to my rim. That's steel, right? You have steel on this, and steel on that one as well. All right, no illegal welds, no cracks to my rim, no signs of oil, grease, or other contaminants on my rim, no signs of rust around my lug nuts to indicate looseness. You will physically grab each lug nut for Courtney. Okay, indicating tightness. No loose lug nuts, no broken lug nuts, no missing lug nuts. This is my hub oil seal. All mounting bolts are present. No broken, crack, or damage or missing any. No signs of leaks. And this seal here, to check the contents, I have the appropriate oil level. I will remove that cap and check it either by sight or using my finger as a dipstick. This is where I would add my oil and replace the cap when done. Lastly, my valve stem. No audible sounds of leaks, properly mounted and secured. Cap is present and tight. Okay? That finishes just this section right